Hey there, welcome back to our latest video. Today, we're diving into the intriguing journey of Benjamin Netanyahu, covering every aspect from his birth to the present. We're unpacking it all: his cases, wars, education, and even both the darker and brighter sides. If you're new and curious about Benjamin Netanyahu's story, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's kick things off. Netanyahu, also known as Bibi, is an Israeli politician and the current Prime Minister of Israel since 2022. He previously held the office from 1996 to 1999 and from 2009 to 2021. Netanyahu, the chairman of the Likud party, holds the record for the longest-serving prime minister in Israel's history, with over 16 years in office. He's also the first prime minister born in Israel after its declaration of independence. Born in Tel Aviv, Netanyahu's journey spanned military service, consultancy, and diplomatic roles. Rising through Likud, he became Israel's youngest PM in '96, though faced defeat in '99. He delved into the private sector before re-entering politics, holding key ministerial positions, initiating economic reforms, but resigned due to differences over Gaza disengagement. Netanyahu's leadership saw multiple terms, coalition shifts, and crucial responses to crises like COVID-19 and Israel-Palestine conflicts. Amidst political upheavals, he faced criticism for an intelligence failure during the 2023 Israel-Hamas war, sparking polarized reactions over his governance and judicial reforms. Netanyahu's alliance with Trump bolstered his image in Israel. Their collaboration led to key moves, including U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital and the Abraham Accords. However, Trump criticized Netanyahu's approach to peace with Palestinians. Netanyahu faced global backlash for expanding settlements in the West Bank, deemed illegal. He was indicted in 2019 on corruption charges, leading him to resign from other ministerial roles but retaining the prime minister position. Netanyahu joined the IDF after high school, serving in the elite Sayeret Matkal unit. Engaging in cross-border missions and high-profile rescues, he sustained multiple combat injuries. After discharge in '72, he studied in the U.S., but returned for the Yom Kippur War, participating in special operations against Egyptian and Syrian forces. Netanyahu's political rise began with joining Likud in '88. He emerged as a key figure during the Gulf War and later served as part of the Israeli delegation at the Madrid conference. Winning the 1993 Likud party leadership, he later secured victory in the 1996 election, becoming Israel's youngest prime minister. His campaign focused on security amid a wave of suicide bombings, leading to a coalition government due to a difference in seats won in the Knesset elections. As prime minister, Netanyahu's leadership focused on security amid Hamas-led suicide bombings, causing friction with Oslo Accord's gradual approach. His tenure saw tensions rise, notably the opening of a tunnel near the Western Wall, leading to deadly riots. He engaged in talks with Arafat, culminating in agreements like the Hebron Protocol and the Wye River Memorandum, despite growing public opposition. However, his term was marked by scandals, including corruption allegations, impacting his popularity. Additionally, a Mossad operation in Jordan involving an attempted assassination strained relations with King Hussein. Netanyahu's economic policies aimed at liberalizing the market. After losing to Ehud Barak in '99, Netanyahu briefly left politics, working as a consultant for BATM Advanced Communications. He later re-entered politics when Ariel Sharon rose to power in 2002, becoming foreign minister. Netanyahu attempted to challenge Sharon for Likud leadership but didn't succeed. He faced protests during scheduled speeches in Montreal and Pittsburgh. Netanyahu also testified before the U.S. House of Representatives on the threat of Iraq's nuclear capabilities, advocating for Saddam's removal. Following the 2003 election, Sharon appointed Netanyahu as finance minister, seen as an effort to neutralize his political threat. Netanyahu implemented significant economic reforms, aiming to liberalize markets, reduce welfare dependency, cut taxes, privatize state assets, and boost competition. His policies triggered criticism but led to economic growth, decreased unemployment, and lowered debt-to-GDP ratio. His approach drew parallels to Thatcherism, leading to opposition from within his party and labor. Despite his economic success, Netanyahu clashed over the Gaza pullout plan, initially threatening resignation unless a referendum was held. He ultimately resigned in 2005, protesting the cabinet's approval of the withdrawal from Gaza. Netanyahu reclaimed Likud leadership in 2005 and led the party in the 2006 elections, becoming opposition leader. He secured the Likud chairmanship again in 2007 and opposed the 2008 Israel-Hamas ceasefire. During this time, he underwent a successful surgery to remove a benign colon polyp. In 2009, after elections, Netanyahu became prime minister, initially aiming for a broader centrist coalition but ultimately forming a government with the Labour Party after failed negotiations with Kadima. During his tenure, Netanyahu navigated complex relations with the US and Palestinians. Initially at odds with US visions for a Palestinian state, he eventually endorsed a demilitarized Palestine while insisting on Jerusalem as Israel's capital. His policies were met with mixed reactions. Some Israelis supported his government, while Palestinians found his declarations hindering permanent status talks. He welcomed Arab peace initiatives but faced challenges, including settlement freezes that drew criticism from both sides. Netanyahu's strong stance on security issues persisted, highlighted by his address at the UN General Assembly, condemning Iran's nuclear ambitions and questioning its leadership's moral standing. Despite some international pressure, he remained steadfast in Israel's long-term policy regarding Jerusalem's development and settlements. His tenure also saw domestic reforms addressing Israel's high cost of living and a push for nationwide high-speed internet access. During his third term, Netanyahu formed a coalition government despite a reduced seat count. He continued economic liberalization, passing laws to break up corporate monopolies and privatize ports. His tenure faced challenges when Hamas and the Palestinian Authority formed a unity government, leading to increased tensions. The kidnapping and murder of 3 Israeli teens resulted in heightened conflict between Gaza militants and Israel, culminating in Operation Protective Edge. Netanyahu defended Israeli settlements, leading to strained relations with the US. His government's privatization plan aimed to combat corruption, while his stance on settlements faced criticism from American officials. Disagreements with key ministers led to the dissolution of the government in December 2014, prompting new elections. Netanyahu's controversial speech to the U.S. Congress on Iran further strained relations with the Obama administration, and his stance on a Palestinian state evolved amid ongoing tensions. In the 2015 election, Netanyahu's Likud won 30 seats and formed a coalition. He aimed for a 5th term and supported party candidates selection. His government approved a budget for reforms in 2015, but faced compromises on key agricultural changes. Netanyahu drew criticism for his Mufti Hitler claims, later clarifying his intent. Internal tensions surfaced in his coalition in 2016 over non-Orthodox prayer space at the Western Wall. In 2016, the U.S. abstained from a UN resolution on Israeli settlements, leading to Netanyahu's strong criticism. Israel exited UNESCO in 2017. Netanyahu visited Australia in 2017, marking a 100-year relationship. He lauded the 2018 North Korea-U.S. summit and backed the 2018 nation-state bill, seen as a right-wing move. Before the 2019 election, Netanyahu orchestrated a controversial party union, drawing criticism for extremist links. Since January 2017, Netanyahu has faced investigations and allegations in 2 connected cases. Case 1000 involves suspected favors from businessmen like James Packer and Arnon Milchan, while Case 2000 involves alleged deals with a newspaper publisher for favorable coverage. Israeli police confirmed suspicions of fraud, breach of trust, and bribes in these cases in August 2017. Police recommended corruption charges in February 2018, and the Attorney General announced indictments in November 2019. Netanyahu is the first sitting prime minister in Israel to be charged with a crime. His trial, which began in May 2020, is ongoing as of April 2023. In May 2020, Netanyahu began his 5th term as prime minister, forming a coalition with Benny Gantz amidst COVID-19 and protests against his rule. Demonstrations, initially dispersed due to COVID-19 restrictions, grew and spread across multiple centers. Israel led in COVID-19 vaccinations by March 2021. In May 2021, tensions in Jerusalem led to rocket attacks by Hamas from Gaza. Netanyahu launched Operation Guardian of the Walls, lasting 11 days. Following this, Naftali Bennett and Yair Lapid formed a coalition government that removed Netanyahu as prime minister on June 13, 2021, ending his 12-year tenure. Following the 2022 election, Netanyahu assumed office as prime minister, heading a hardline coalition. His sixth term officially commenced on December 29, 2022. Netanyahu's early sixth term focused on controversial judicial reforms, sparking widespread criticism. Concerns ranged from impacts on the separation of powers, the Attorney General's office, economy, public health, and minority rights to democratic strength and foreign relations. Amid mounting protests, Defense Minister Gallant's opposition led to his removal, intensifying demonstrations and prompting a one-month delay in legislation. In early 2023, Netanyahu's government greenlit 9 settler outposts in the West Bank, giving broad authority over civilian matters to Finance Minister Smotrich, sparking criticism for annexation-like actions. The government also reversed the dismantling of 4 settlements and streamlined settlement construction approvals, resulting in a significant surge in housing unit construction in settlements, nearly tripling the previous year's numbers. Netanyahu strongly opposes terrorism, citing its evil nature and totalitarian undertones. He links his tough stance to personal tragedy, having lost his brother in a hostage rescue mission. He emphasizes civil liberties but suggests surveillance during sustained attacks. He advocates for tighter immigration laws to combat terrorism but urges the distinction between legitimate political groups and terrorists. Regarding the death penalty, Netanyahu supported it for perpetrators of specific attacks and pushed for legislation allowing its use in terrorism cases, but he faced opposition within his coalition government. On LGBT rights, he acknowledges progress but faces challenges from some coalition members. He condemned racism after Ethiopian Jewish protests against police brutality and supports integrating the African Hebrew Israelites into Israeli society. Netanyahu sees Iran as a significant threat and compares it to Nazi Germany, urging strong action against its nuclear ambitions. He advocated for tough measures and sanctions against Iran, aligning with U.S. strikes and setting red lines for Iran's nuclear program. However, his approach drew criticism for exploiting Holocaust memories for political gain and exaggerating the immediacy of Iran's nuclear capability. In a complex legal case involving the Bank of China and a terror financing lawsuit, Netanyahu faced conflicting commitments to the Waltz family and the Chinese government, leading to international attention and pressure from U.S. representatives. Netanyahu negotiated a prisoner swap in 2011 for Gilad Shalit, but some released prisoners resumed terrorism. He faced challenges with defense budget cuts and increased social program cuts to maintain military readiness. Israel and the U.S. saw increased security cooperation during his tenure. As prime minister, Netanyahu expanded the role of the Israeli National Security Council in foreign policy planning. During the 2023 Israel-Hamas conflict, he advocated for Israel's increased security responsibility in the Gaza Strip. He has historically advocated for tightened immigration laws, passing laws like the Prevention of Infiltration Law in 2012. This law mandated detention for those entering Israel without permission, drawing criticism from Amnesty International. Netanyahu views illegal immigration as a threat to national security and identity, echoing similar sentiments toward Europe's immigration policies. Netanyahu maintained close relationships with various world leaders, including Hungary's Viktor Orbán, Italy's Silvio Berlusconi, and Russia's Vladimir Putin. He had mixed interactions with Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Relations with Obama soured over policy disagreements, while Trump's support fluctuated. Netanyahu's friendship with Bolsonaro of Brazil was strong, but tensions with Erdogan of Turkey remained high due to political differences and public spats. Netanyahu has had health issues, including a right bundle branch block, since 2003. In July 2023, he received a pacemaker implant. Nowadays, following hopeful diplomatic prospects, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faced a catastrophic setback when Hamas executed a massacre in southern Israel on October 7. The government's delayed response and failures in protection left civilians paying a terrible price. Netanyahu's confident wartime declaration coincided with hundreds already dead, revealing the severe negligence. Calls for accountability intensified as the nation mourned and questioned the shocking turn of events. That's a wrap for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the comprehensive documentary on Benjamin Netanyahu. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing to my channel and dropping a comment below about what history or topic you'd like to explore next. Your feedback means a lot.